we recently interviewed the principal of Cathedral High School, and he said that, when he was in the public education system, he said he had an issue with, internally had an issue with trying to, because you have to kind of separate your faith in a way because you can't talk about it at school with the kids. And did you have any difficulty that way?
Definitely, yes. One thing really comes to mind is I wanted to put a cross. It wasn't even a crucifix, but it was one of those window crosses where there was glass, and so the light would come through. And I put it on my window, and my principal, who I love, and she's amazing, and she's a huge mentor for me. But she said, "Are you allowed to put that there?" And I was like, why not? It's like wearing a cross around my neck. And so I left it there, and that's where my stubbornness came out. But yes, I definitely was always conflicted of, especially when you're having those conversations with students and helping them get through mistakes and, what have your parents taught you and what are the right things to do? I always wanted to bring that in, and it was hard. But there was a point in my life where, and I would say probably just 5 years ago, where I said, I don't care. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to say it. And I remember my first principal job I went back. So I came back to Houston. I remember a student saying something throughout our conversation. He had made a poor choice, and he said, "Well, I know that God wouldn't want me to do this." And I started crying. I, started tearing up because I was like, "Oh, finally, I can talk about it." And I, just opened the door. Yes. And I would say throughout all of my career and schooling, I thought about Catholic schools and serving in a Catholic school, but I always said, I don't have the experience. They're not going to hire me. So I didn't want to.
What experience do you think you didn't have?
Well,
you were an assistant principal, you were a principal.
Yes.
So
being in a Catholic school and knowing the ins and outs, I just started an application in the Archdiocese system, and I was like, there's no way. But so I started, like, you can tell when people have submitted some of the paperwork, but not all of it. So I had my name in there. It was in the system, but I kind of just let it be because I was like, they're not going to hire me for
So you didn't
principal.
complete the application?
I didn't complete it. And I had completed a different one for an assistant principal at another Catholic school. But again, I wanted to, I had been a principal for a year, and I wanted to continue in that role. So one night, very late, I remember that I had just gone to the graduation for the high school in Gerald, and I was up either pumping or preparing milk for my daughter because she was like 3 months. And it was like midnight, and I just was checking my email, and I received an email from the superintendent of Catholic schools that said, "I see your name in the system. Are you going to complete the application?" And I was like, "What?" And I didn't know at the time that it was a superintendent writing me. I thought it was, just somebody that deals with applications.
Yeah,
and so I was
like a clerk or something.
Yes. So I responded and I said, "Well, yes, I am going to complete it." And we exchanged maybe 3 or 4 emails that night in the middle of the night.
Wow.
And so by maybe 2 a.m., I had an interview scheduled for the next couple days. Wow. So it was the Holy Spirit and leading me and guiding me to this position. And so, yes, I interviewed and came home and interviewed, and it all worked out, and we moved back.
If you didn't stay up and be a good mom and prepare milk, you wouldn't have had that whole conversation via email. If you had just sent it in the morning, he would have been busy, and who knows how it would have turned out.
Oh, yes.